Welcome to Oregon Cash Flow Pro. My name is James Barber. I'm your Oregon Cash Flow Pro, here to help you maximize that cash flow as always. Appreciate you joining us. 6 months ago, we bought $10,000 worth of QDTE. Did we dollar cost average into it? Heck no. We just bought $10,000 right out of the gate. Let's do a quick recap on what the plan here is. We're viewing this similar to a rental property. If we're going to buy a rental property, we might use a loan to purchase the rental property, and then we're going to get rents that are going to pay that loan off. And once that loan is paid off, we have a continuing stream of income afterwards. We're doing something very similar, but with a high dividend paying ETF. In this case, QDTE sells 0 days till expiration covered calls in order to make income. And it sells it against the NASDAQ 100. Since we want exposure to the NASDAQ 100, and I like the 0 DTE strategy because there's no overnight risk that we're going to miss out on upside that happens overnight, this seemed like a good way to do it. Now, this acts like a rental property in that we take that 10,000, we buy however many shares it bought us at the time. In this case, 251 shares. We borrowed the money for that from one of my high cash value life insurance policies. Now we're able to borrow from that at 5% interest. It's a great interest rate. It doesn't leave a very high bar for us to have to beat for this to be able to pay off in the long run. The dividends pay out weekly, and over the course of the year, we expect around a 30% dividend payout. That means approximately 3 years, we'll have the loan paid back and we'll still have our 251 shares. Now with this kind of ETF, there is the risk of NAV erosion. That's what is the net asset value of those underlying shares. Every time a dividend pays out, the value of the shares drops by the amount of dividend that was paid out. So we are going to, in some sense, rely on the increase in share value to keep those shares worth what they are today. Now, just like a rental property, you wouldn't buy a house and hold it for 20 years and expect that it's going to be in the same condition that it was when you first bought it, that you wouldn't have to put any money into it. That's kind of like NAV erosion, except in the case of a rental property, you're going to have taxes that you're going to have to pay, real estate taxes. You're also going to have wear and tear and regular maintenance that's going to happen on that. Theoretically, with our plan on this, we're not doing any of that. We're just going to buy and hold that 251 shares. And once that loan gets paid off, it's just going to keep kicking out the dividend. Let's take a look at how QDTE has compared to the NASDAQ 100, the NDX. We made our purchase on January 29th, right here. The bar chart is QDTE. The line is NDX. Originally, one of the reasons we got into this was QDTE was outperforming NDX over the last year by a little over, I can't even remember, it was 1 to 3%. Now, because we had some massive volatility happen, there was really just a few days that caused quite a bit of problems, and they were fairly unprecedented. And this is one of the risks that we're going to talk about with QDTE. But now you can see the performance of NDX is about a little bit less than 4% above where QDTE is over the course of the last 6 months. Does that mean our strategy isn't going to work? Of course not. We're actually doing pretty good in this thing. Not as good as if we had just bought the NDX. But had we just bought the NDX, we would have had to been selling it regularly, which we certainly could do. We wouldn't have earned any income doing it, but the NDX has performed better than QDTE over this time period. There is a chance that this can catch back up to that. It all depends on what the market's going to do. Looking at this chart here, because there's no overnight risk and they're selling a covered call at market open, the down days don't affect us at all. In fact, we make the most income on the down days. We even make income on the up days because they're selling their covered call somewhere around 1% outside of the money. It's the days like this and this where we see that the market went up over 2%. that day, when we see these big green candles, those are the problem days for this type of an ETF, because they're going to buy back those calls that they sold at a loss. So they're giving back some of the gains that they previously had. And we can see this play out in the dividends. Essentially, when they kick out a dividend, it is the profits that they're paying out. Well, right here, we had a dividend of 15 cents. The next day, and most of the days, we're in the 23 to 27 cent range. So what happened here? If we take a look back, it's about a month behind that we take a look back at that week, what happened, and that would have been back here, where we had some big green candles. They had to buy back some of these calls at a loss. The only other times that we missed out, right here, we had some big green candles, and in here, where a month earlier, we had big green candles, and then most recently, right here, and back here, big green candles. So that's what we're looking out for. The big green candles cause a problem with us being able to keep up with the performance of the NDX. But it's a lot cheaper to hold this, and realistically, we're still doing okay. So let's hop over to our actual spreadsheet where we're tracking this. Here we have QDTE, our original purchase date, the number of shares that we bought, 251, the original purchase price, $39.75, and the cost just under $10,000. This is the dividend payout, this is the dividend date, and this was the share price at that time. So on the date of that dividend payout, so we can see how the share price was affected. Now, unfortunately, we had a big drop in the market, and the share price of this, along with the triple Q and the NASDAQ, all went down significantly, dropped down to 30 bucks. Here's the value now. We're back up to $35. NASDAQ itself also back up. And you can see our dividends basically held steady. The lowest dividend payout that we saw was $36, while the highest was $77. Now this pays out every week. So if we're looking at this as an income generating asset like a rental property, that means at a minimum, if we were getting that $30 to $36 each week for the month, we're up close to $150 for the month. Generally, we're right around 60 bucks, which means we're making about $240 a month from the dividends. Once this thing gets paid back, even if the price drops down, even if we get some NAV erosion, when our loan is paid back, we should still have the ability to earn somewhere between $150 and $250 a month, year after year on those 251 shares. So that's the idea here. We're going to start with 10,000. We use other people's money to buy 251 shares. We pay back that loan with the dividend when it kicks out, and then it continues to kick off dividends after that. Now, just for fun, we're tracking what happened if we didn't have a loan. If we didn't have a loan and we just dripped that dividend right back into purchase more of these shares, where would we be? Well, right now, 6 months into it, we would have almost 300 shares. Let's see how all of this compares. We've got our current price of QDTE, the current share count. This is the current value as of today. This is our growth. If we weren't getting dividends, we would be down nearly 11%. It's about 10.49%. But when we add the dividends back in, we're up 4.08%. If we had just put that 10,000 in the NDX, we would be up 8.93%. So significantly better over the course of 6 months, but we know why that happened. We're not kicking ourselves. We have a long-term strategy goal here. And just like any investment, you can't look at something you could have done and just kick yourself. Can this in and of itself still be a good investment 10 years from now? Absolutely. Will it be better than this one at that point? Only time will tell. So it's all about diversification. This is one way that we're just diversifying our overall portfolio. Now here is where we would be at if we hadn't had a loan, if we just had 10,000 and we did this same strategy and utilized the drip system. Current value would be 10,535. We would be up 5.6%. So it is a good idea with these types of strategies to utilize the drip if you don't have a plan like we do to pay that loan back. Now, we bought this inside of a non-marginable brokerage account. If we were in a marginable brokerage account, we could also utilize that margin to help us purchase more shares, do this quickly. That would add to the level of risk. So we're not really addressing that in this situation. But I am going to be doing another strategy similar to this, but with a couple of different income ETFs that we're going to do something similar to this, but with a margin account. So if you're interested in following along on that, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you appreciate the content that we're doing. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. This spreadsheet that I keep track of this, and I will keep track of the new one, is available to our Discord members. It's really easy to join our Discord. You just become a YouTube channel member. I think it's like $1 a month is the cheapest membership. We just do that to keep out bad actors, people who just want to cause chaos. And surprisingly, $1 will do it. So come join us over there. It's not a super active Discord, but that might change because I do answer questions in there anytime somebody has questions. A lot of this stuff that we're tracking, though, it's not anything that you have to worry about day to day, the movements of these things. And so we do tend to see more activity if we get into more active management of some of our portfolio, which we do from time to time. But as of right now, we're kind of on a laid back course with our portfolio where we're letting somebody else do quite a bit of our income producing. And that's what this income ETF is meant to do. Rather than me sit in front of the computer all day trying to sell covered calls and manage those trades and try to optimize the movement of those, I'm outsourcing it. So we're doing that right now for this one. I do have some other things going on, like I'm running a wheel strategy on TQQQ, but that's not something that we've put together a video on. And where we're at in the market, I probably wouldn't hop in and start doing that right at this point either. Anyway, appreciate you joining us for this. We'll be back with some other updates. And of course, we have other videos coming out. If you want to see more about my life insurance videos, everything you need to know about whole life and IUL, I started a new channel with a couple of other agents, and we're doing a podcast. It's called the Life Insurance Financial Education Podcast. Check us out on YouTube or look for us in your favorite podcast app. We've got 30 episodes out already. A lot of good information there. And I still will be putting out information here, updating all of my policies. We're going to be running an IUL focused series coming up soon where we're going to address all of the things you need to know about the IUL, including problems you might run into, index options that you can use, how to diversify, and anything else you can think of. So if you have questions about any of that, put them in the comment section below. Happy to help you guys out. We'll see you again soon. The next 20 seconds determine your future. Subscribe, meet with me, or continue educating yourself with these videos right over here. I appreciate you. Now go maximize your cash flow.